Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are looking at Friday the 13th, Part 2, released in 1981. Friday the 13th, Part 2 stars Amy Steele, John Furey, Adrienne King, Marta Kober, Christian Baker, Bill Randolph, Russell Todd, Lauren Marie Taylor, Tom McBride, Stuart Charno, Betsy Palmer, and Walt Gorney. This film, Sean Cunningham turned over the directing duties to Steve Miner. And Sean Cunningham, you got one-upped because in this film, Steve Miner made a more effective film, I believe, in my opinion, than the original Friday the 13th that Sean Cunningham directed. The characters in this are much better written and much better acted and played. You have, Amy Steele as your lead actress, as Jenny Field, is incredible. She's one of the best final girls of all time. John Furey, as her love interest, Paul Holt, is really good in this as well. You have the return of Adrienne King as Alice Hardy, ever so briefly, and probably one of the longest recaps in film history. Because we have this moment where Alice Hardy is laying in bed and she's having a nightmare, and we're getting a flashback to the events in the original film. And it's one of the longest flashbacks we've ever had. It takes up a good chunk of the runtime for this film. Just the flashbacks to the original film. Longest one other than this was I believe, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which basically showed almost the whole original movie in that film. This one doesn't do that bad. This one isn't that big of a transgressor in that, but it does have a long one. And then Adrienne King is killed, so she's not a major character in this film. The rest of the cast, you got Marta Kober as Sandra Dyer, and she is really good in this. But the thing with her character was that she was underage at the time of filming this. So they shot a more explicit love scene / murder for Marta Kober and her love interest, Bill Randolph's Jeff Dunsbury. But when they found out that she was underage, they had to cut a lot of that out. So, yeah. And then we have Kristen Baker as Terry. She is... And I didn't know until just recently that originally she was like a blonde actress, because I was so used to seeing her. This is how I usually see her whenever I've seen her in anything. This is the only thing I had seen her in prior to, looking her up when I did my research for this. So I was really shocked to find out that she's normally a blonde in films. So, but I thought she looked really effective as the brunette character, and she's really cute. She has the little skinny dip scene which is one of the most famous scenes in this film, in which her potential love interest, Russell Todd Scott, steals her clothes, and while he's spying on her in the lake. So, and then you have the other memorable cast member in this was Lauren Marie Taylor as Vicky, and Tom McBride as Mark. I mean, they had a really good little repertoire going together. Him being in the wheelchair and her being all into him and wanting to be with him, even though he is in a wheelchair. And it's funny because if you watch behind the scenes stuff on this, film, Lauren apparently had a big crush on Tom until she found out that he was gay. And that just broke her heart, apparently, on the set. So, the other thing that, trivia about this film, apparently on the set, according to Bill Randolph, there was a lot of pot smoking on this film. Yeah, if that cop from the first film had showed up and started that shit, I mean, yeah, he would have a reason to really be saying what he said in the original film there. The cop that does appear in here is more of a serious character, and is played straight, not the goofball that character was in Friday the 13th. And because of that, he is a very smart character. He follows Jason and actually finds his little shack out there in the woods. Unfortunately for him, he gets careless and gets a hammer claw to the head. Now, I don't know which film. They were both made in 1981. I don't know which film did the clawhammer kill first. The way they shoot it in Friday the 13th Part 2, it almost appears to me that Halloween 2 might have done it first, and Part 2 was trying to one-up it with its brutality of the way it was done. But I'm not sure. But yeah, it is pretty funny that two movies that came out the same year both have a claw from a hammer as a killing blow. Then we have the return of Walt Gorney as Crazy Ralph, which God, I wish they would have never done what they did to him in this. This is a character that he should have stuck around for multiple films. And they end up killing him off, have Jason kill him in here, and it's just really a missed opportunity there, I think. I think they should have kept Walt Gorney around because he was so great in this role.
I warned them. They didn't listen.
They never listen. Jesus Christ, Eddie. You're starting to sound like your crazy cousin Ralph.
God rest his soul.
But then you have the return of Betsy Palmer as Pamela Voorhees for a small little sequence where Jason is seeing the mother when Jenny is using her psychology on him. Well, that scene, it really looks like they maybe went to Betsy Palmer's house and put up a black backdrop behind her and just had her shoot that right there in the comfort of her own home. I doubt she was ever on set shooting on that film, on part 2. The way this scene looks, the way it was shot and everything, it just screams that they went to her like that. I don't know for sure, but it just screams that to me. The other actor I want to note is Stuart Charno as Ted. Now, I really did like this character. He's a fun practical joker character. Normally those characters get killed. Ironically, he gets to live through this. He survives, which is cool. That was something I was not expecting when I first went into this movie back in the day. When I first watched this back in the day, I thought, oh shit, he's the practical joker. He's going to get killed. No, he leaves, goes with Jenny and Paul to the little bar that they go to and everything, and they're hanging out, and Jenny and Paul unfortunately go back, but he stays, so he gets to survive. But I liked his character. He was pretty natural, and he's pretty fun. And the way that, Bill Randolph talks about the pot being smoked around there, as goofy as Ted was in the film, it wouldn't surprise me if he was high in most of his scenes. But the only real drawback, this has the great music. Harry Manfredini comes back and does the score again, and this score might be even better than the original to me, because it is very good in this sequel. But the only drawback this film has is Tom Savini was doing the effects for The Burning at the time that this film was being shot, so he couldn't do the effects for this, so they got someone else. I forget who it was. But the effects are just not as effective in this film. Just off the top of my head, the scene where Scott gets his throat cut when he's hanging upside down, you can see that they are using a real machete, and they turned the machete reverse so that it's the dull side that is coming across his throat to cut his throat. Had they been able to get back Tom Savini, I guarantee you that sequence would have been a fake machete, and that cut would have been... it would have looked so much better in the film. But yeah, that's one of the only real drawbacks in this film. And as much as Warrington Gillette wants to sit there and talk about how he played Jason throughout all of this film, I think it's been already proven through many cast members and even Steve Miner himself that majority of the Jason in this film was Steve Dash. And he was really good playing him. But this Jason with the sackhead look, it just doesn't look as good as future Jasons. Now, yes, it's true. This is the first iteration of him. They didn't know what they wanted with the character. They didn't know what they wanted him to wear as far as masks or whatever goes, or if they even wanted him to wear a mask, if they wanted to do like they did with Pamela and just keep him in the shadows. But thankfully this does not have that whole bullshit mystery where you're given this whole thing where, oh, who's the killer? We don't know who the killer is. And then, you know, by the end of the film, oh, this is the killer. And we've never met this person through the whole movie. That was what hurt the original film. I mean, Pamela popping up at the very end of the movie, and this is your reveal of the killer. Well, we've never met her through the rest of the film. What the fuck? That's no mystery. So, Jason being the killer from the very get-go, you already know who's the killer, basically, pretty much. And but his overall look with the flannel shirt and the overalls, and then the sack head with the one eye, I mean, it's not a very good look. And Steve Dash, I give him credit for a lot of the stuff he went through in this, doing the intense, trying to do the intense stuff with Jason in this, but he's not a very big guy. And Warrington Gillette flying through the wind at the end, I mean, yes, it's a good scare, but his face, the makeup design on his face is just, something about it just doesn't really scream intimidating and scary to me. So, my rating for Friday the 13th Part 2. I give this film a 8.0 out of 10. It is a significant improvement over the original film. But still not the greatest Friday the 13th film of all time. Not to me, at least. So, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you agree with my review. If, what do you think? Let me know. And, as usual, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help my channel out a lot. So, if you've enjoyed my video, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.